and now Kangen water is available here in the U.S.
Now there's somebody here today to show you an eye-opening demonstration about the water we drink and this remarkable machine from Japan. His name is Bob Gridelli. Hey, Bobby, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Pat.
Why don't you take over?
Great, I will. So I want to welcome everybody, and I'm going to go into the demonstration here, and I'm going to show you the 3 unique properties of this water and why it's so very special. The first property I'm going to show you is what's called the ORP, which stands for the oxidation reduction potential. And we're going to show you that with a meter that shows whether a liquid has a positive ORP or a negative ORP. And if it has a positive ORP, that means it's bad for you, or it's oxidizing, or aging, or rusting. We all know what that is, right? And so if it has a negative ORP, that's what makes it a powerful antioxidant. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to pour some of these liquids first. And we're going to start with Dasani. And these are, we just put together an array of liquids that most people drink, right? Did you drink any of this? Dasani? How about Aquafina? Yeah. Yes? I think I used to drink all of these. And how about Smart Water? Yes?
My holistic doctor gave it.
Your holistic doctor, okay. I'll show you what I call it in a little bit. How about the Arrowhead sparkling water? Yes? Anyone like that water?
They have different flavors.
That's why I kind of like those, all the flavors. Actually, this was my favorite water. It's called Alive. In a second, you'll see what I call it. How about sports drinks, Gatorades? Yes, everybody like those? I used to drink a lot of sports drinks because, you know, you see athletes drinking it, so it must be good for us. How about sodas? Do any of you drink sodas?
Not anymore.
Okay, and this is just tap water. Anybody drink tap water?
Occasionally.
And then this is Kangen water. Okay, so this is the pinpoint ORP meter. Now we're going to test the ORP of the Dasani. So notice Dasani is over 215 right now. Now we'll go to the Aquafina. How's the Aquafina? Go over 220 and climbing. How about the Smart Water? Over 230 and climbing. How about Arrowhead? Over 315 and climbing, getting worse. Alive Water. This was one of my favorite ones. 400, now I call it dead water. How about Gatorade? Any of you drink Gatorade? Like 393 and climbing. So remember, the worse, the more positive it is, the worse it is. How about 7-Up? Now, all sodas are pretty much the same, just we use light colored. So you'll see 394 and climbing. How about the tap water? 325. Here's the star of the show, you guys. Look at negative what? Negative 400. Wow. Now negative 426. So as you can see, when it has a negative, this is the only water that has a negative. That's why they call it negative water in Japan. That's why they use it in hospitals over there, because all the positive ones are oxidizing, aging, rusting, bad, internally on the body. But the negative water is neutralizing the free radicals, so that's why we want to drink this water and hydrate your body on a regular basis. The next property I'm going to show you, the water, is we're going to go over here and we're going to test these waters for the pH of the water. So pH stands for potential hydrogen. And we have a little chart here where I'm going to show you, and we're going to put a few drops in these waters. And we're going to show whether they are on the acidic side or the alkaline side. And we'll just put a couple drops in each one of them. We have a nice little pretty colorful display today, right? And we'll kind of stir these up real quick so you can get a better look, and then I'll show each one of them. Let's clean that off. Let's clean it off each time. Okay. So let's go start here with the Dasani water, and we'll use this pH chart here and show. So the Dasani is what?
Very acidic.
On the acidic side, right? How about the Aquafina? Also acidic. How about the Smart Water? A little better, but still acidic, right? How about the Arrowhead Sparkling? Oop. Very acidic. How about the Alive Water?
Very acidic.
That's why I call it dead water now. How about the Gatorade?
Oh,
Very acidic.
Also very acidic. And how about the 7-Up?
very acidic.
Bet you didn't know you were drinking so many acidic things, did you? How about tap water? So right around neutral, right? So tap water is always going to be neutral to slightly alkaline because it's federally regulated by the government. So besides, the chlorine, the fluorides, they put lye in the water, which is a pH of 14, very alkaline, to raise the pH of our city water, the tap water, because if it were acidic, it would rust the pipes. So I don't think they're concerned about our pipes. They're concerned about the city pipes. So that's why it's always going to be in that range. So let's move on to the Kangen water. Now here's the star of the show. What is the Kangen water? Wow. Very alkaline, right? So with a touch of a button, we can change the alkalinity, and this one is 9.5 pH. So we all know that we should be slightly alkaline, right? Our body, because we're over 75% water. Unfortunately, look what we're drinking today, and the foods we're eating, and the air we're breathing. And so when you drink this water on a regular basis, just think about your bodily fluids, right? Now watch what happens. What did we just do? Just with a little of the water, we neutralize that and raise the pH of the water. We'll go to the Aquafina. Notice. How about the Smart Water? Notice I'm just putting in a little bit, right? So imagine when you're drinking this on a regular basis, what happened to the Arrowhead water?
Oh, it didn't even.
It was struggling and then it went right back to acidity. That's because it's very acidic. Notice the Alive Water. No change. How about the Gatorade? Also no change. How about the 7-Up?
Oh, no change.
So now we'll go over to the tap water. Notice it changed pretty easily, right? So now when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, that's what it's going to help your body to do to balance your pH. Now, I'm going to take the 7-Up here. Now it's already diluted, right? Watch what happens. Now think about you're drinking this on a regular basis. Watch what happens when we just add a little bit of that. Notice it takes it right back to an acidic state, just with a few drops. If you're drinking these things, ladies, and these are all pretty much in the same range, watch the Kangen water.
Wow.
We just destroyed the Kangen water with a little bit of diluted soda. If you're drinking sodas, this is right around the pH of about 2.5, which makes it about 50,000 times more acidic if you were starting over here at the neutral point. So that's how acidic it is. And I'm just going to show you real quick. This came from Wellness Magazine. And it says, what does it show the equivalent of soda is?
Battery acid.
It shows soda equals battery. Your battery in your car, the acid level of the battery in your car equivalent to soda. So imagine, if we want to stay on the alkaline side, you definitely don't want to drink anything like this, right? So as you can see now, that's the second property of the water that makes Kangen water so very special and why you want to be hydrating your body on a regular basis. So now I get to show you the third property of the water, which is microclustering of the molecules. And so regular water, like tap water, is about 15 to 20 molecule clusters, whereas Kangen water is about 4 to 6 clusters, so much smaller. And you're going to get to see a visual when I show you that with these green tea bags. So this is Yamamoto green tea. It's a tea that I like. And so we're going to go ahead and put one of these in here in the first cup. And what do you have to normally do to make tea? You have to heat the water. So we're going to take room temperature tap water. And notice what's happening.
Nothing.
It's not making tea, is it? That's because you have to boil the water to make tea. So we're going to take another tea bag and we're going to take the Kangen water. Notice what happens. What's happening to that tea bag?
Trying to make tea.
It's making tea instantly. Watch what happens when I go to pour again. Instant tea, right? The smaller molecules are penetrating the tea bag and drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Okay, let's take one. How about if we go back to tap water? No tea, right? So it's not a magic show, so you understand. It's just the molecules are too big to draw the tea out of there. We'll go back to Kangen water. Notice how it's drawing tea out of the tea bag. And notice this tea bag's still struggling over here, right? So let's take it back over here and let's see if we can get tea out of it. Notice instant tea with the Kangen water. So I think you can understand with the microclustering of the molecules being 4 to 6 clusters, much smaller, how it's drawing the tea out of the tea bag. Now imagine when you're drinking this water on a regular basis, it's hydrating the body better. So I think you can see that drinking Kangen water with the negative ORP, right, the alkalinity and the microclustering of the molecules, this should be the water of choice for everybody to drink because it's far superior water and beneficial for the body. Now we're going to show you some other properties of the water that we can use for different purposes in your home. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some tomatoes here that I just got at the grocery store. So these are some Nature's Sweet tomatoes. And how do you normally clean your fruits and vegetables at home? You rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're going to take these Nature's Sweet tomatoes, and I'll try to pluck these out really quick. And you rinse them in the tap water, right? So we're just going to simulate that by pouring some tap water in here. You ladies didn't know you were going to do a little taste test today, did you? And we're going to take another bag of the Nature's Sweet tomatoes. And we're going to soak them in what's called strong Kangen water. And strong Kangen water is at a pH of about 11, 11.5. And the reason I put it in a black container is because 3 things affect the properties of the water. That is air, light, and movement. So we always store them in black containers when we make the water and we're going to use them. So we'll just soak some of the tomatoes with the 11.5 strong Kangen water. And while those are soaking, we'll let those sit there for just a minute. And we're going to take some, this is pure sesame oil. And we're going to take some sesame oil, and I'm going to show you while those are soaking what this water can do to the sesame oil. Now what happens, basic science, what happens when you mix water and oil?
They don't mix, they separate.
It doesn't mix, right? So notice how it's starting to separate. So watch when I take the same oil and put the strong Kangen water in there.
Oh, wow.
What just happened?
Emulsified.
It emulsified or it mixed the oil. So we're going to show you today with this water how you can use it for different purposes at home to clean your produce. You can also use it, put it in a black spray bottle like I do, and clean the house with it. So we're all concerned about the chemicals in our home, right? So we can now get rid of all those chemicals and make water that you can use as a degreaser, a cleaner, your 409, you can replace all of those. So let's go back to the tomatoes. How about that? So remember, these were soaking in the tap water and simulating how you clean them at home. And I'm just going to scoop them out of here and try not to make a mess. Okay. That's the tap water. We'll set them right there. And then we're going to do a little taste test. Are you ladies up for a taste test today? Okay, let's get the, I call these Kangen tomatoes. Now, notice the difference. So, you thought you cleaned your tomatoes in the tap water, right? But did you really?
No.
Notice what just came off the tomatoes.
Everything.
Herbicides, pesticides, oxidation, anything that's on the produce, because they use oil-based pesticides that don't wash off in the rain. So guess what? Regular water doesn't have the ability to take those off, but Kangen water has the ability to take them off, just like it broke down the oil over here. So let's go ahead and let's pass these around. We're going to go ahead and have each one of you grab one of the Kangen tomatoes, I call them. And let's do a little taste test. Those are kind of big, so you might not want to bite them in half. I would just bite the whole thing, or you might get tomato on you. And so we're going to let them try the Kangen tomatoes really quick. Hey guys, I'm Italian, and I didn't used to like tomatoes. That's pretty sad, right? But guess what? I found out it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. So how's the tomatoes?
Very
Oh,
sweet.
good.
Are they pretty sweet? Not too bad?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and pass these around. And this is the tomatoes that how you normally clean them and how you normally eat them. And let's see if we notice a difference, or who can notice a difference in the taste. Oh, you got to get a picture of these faces. Look at the face. Look at the difference in the taste. So that now you understand why I didn't like tomatoes. Like I said, it wasn't the tomatoes I didn't like. It was what was on the tomatoes that I didn't like. Everyone notice the difference? Absolutely. The first one was much better. The first one tasted more like you got it out of the garden, right? And it was natural and no pesticides, and it was sweet. Even the texture's a little different. And the second one, you guys, because guess what? You were eating the tomatoes with this on there. And that will definitely affect the taste. And guess what? When you clean your produce with this Kangen water, the strong Kangen water, your produce will last a week or so longer. So one of the other benefits of this technology and the different waters that we can make that you can use in your home for different purposes.
We all know this. We need to drink plenty of water.
But there's a certain kind of water some people swear is better for you. Is it really healing water? 7's Diana Diaz explains.
When South Beach restaurant manager Pablo Lucero got strict orders from his doctor to start drinking more water for his health, he couldn't do it.
He suggested to drink at least a gallon of water. So for me, it was impossible.
So when the 41-year-old started hearing the buzz about what's called Kangen water, he decided to give it a guzzle.
The first thing that I noticed is that the water is really, really light. By the time I finished the first gallon, I couldn't believe my eyes.
Kangen water has been used in Japanese hospitals for years, and now the water systems are popping up at restaurants and homes all over South Florida.
Kangen water is water that is not only filtered. Filtering just takes out contaminants. It's water that goes through an additional process called ionization.
The water system is simply hooked up to your faucet.
Inside the machine, there are plates made out of medical-grade titanium, and the machine is plugged into the electricity, so there is a mild electrical charge running through those plates.
The machine takes tap water, filters out the harmful contaminants, and then splits it into alkaline and acid waters. The theory is our body's pH needs to be balanced.
Kangen water 8.5.
Little by little, the body's becoming too acidic. So this water helps to offset the acidity, to give your body the right kind of water that it needs, that's alkaline, has minerals in it, and in addition, the water is very antioxidant, which means it fights free radical damage.
Pablo says he saw the health benefits immediately.
In less than 48 hours, the migraines went away.
Most importantly, his high cholesterol dropped within 3 weeks, which stunned even his doctor.
My cholesterol dropped down from 228 to 221.
Now, doctors say they don't care how you get your water, they just want you to drink it. In the Plex, I'm Diana Diaz, 7 News.
If you need emergency medical care, treatment in the U.S. is the gold standard. But when it comes to prevention and managing chronic disease, that's another story. We've got big problems. We're overfed and undernourished. We've not only supersized our fast food, but our waistlines as well. The U.S. spends more on prescription drugs than any other country. But in Japan, instead of popping a pill to treat the symptoms, they search for the underlying cause, and it's working. People in Japan live longer than we do. People in Japan weigh less than we do. For years, people in Japan have been drinking a very special water. It's called Kangen water, and now Kangen water is available here in the U.S.
Prior to my life as a physician, I was working on a doctorate in nutrition. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in nutrition and completed my PhD coursework prior to starting medical school. So my background really began in nutrition. When I entered medical school, I was trained like most allopathic physicians that our job is to diagnose disease and to treat it with medication and surgery when necessary. And so I followed that model for the first few years of practice. I began to turn back towards my nutritional training and trying to help them understand nutrition as well as exercise physiology and activity as a means of helping them improve their health and reverse some of the chronic diseases that I was seeing on a regular basis. I tell my patients that we are one big biochemical reaction. Everything that's happening in our body is a biochemical reaction. And for biochemical reactions to occur, we need a solvent. And the solvent in our bodies is water. So there's no question that the most important thing that we can do is hydrate our bodies. And we treat chronic disease with medication, and we don't really attack the root cause, which is oxidative stress, free radical damage. We're not really treating or curing the disease, we're managing the disease. We rely on oxidative stress to kill bacteria and viruses and fungi. But oxidative stress in excess, when we don't have the proper balance, when we have too much oxidation and not enough of its counterpart, which is reduction, then we get into this situation where we start to see degeneration occur in cells, in the tissues, and ultimately in the body. We get degeneration of the body, we get aging, and we get chronic disease. Oxidative stress is the mechanism by which all this happens. Anytime our body sees protein that it doesn't recognize, we have the susceptibility to cause an inflammatory reaction or an allergic reaction. I really do think there's a connection there with incompletely digested proteins through the typical American diet that we consume. We need to respect the fact that we have all these built-in mechanisms to help us fight disease, to maintain our health. But we need to support ourselves in that healing process by eating natural foods, by drinking the right type of water, by managing stress, by getting plenty of exercise and plenty of oxygen to our lungs. For those of you who are trying to optimize your health and trying to do everything you can to have good health, to maintain your health, preserve your health, my plea is just try the water.
Many processes within our bodies produce free radicals. Free radicals are entities that have lost an electron. They are positively charged. They come from the breakdown of foods, from the breakdown of toxins, and they enter our bloodstream. These free radicals are potentially harmful to cells. They will attach themselves, for example, to the lining cell of an artery. And when they do, they will produce an injury. That injury will create a response in the body trying to heal it. Platelets will come from the blood and try to plug that injury. And in the process of making a clot, in the process of then bringing in scavenger cells to repair the damage, the blood vessel is damaged. That's one of the theories of atherogenesis. Acid reflux, as you know, is a huge problem in our country. People who are obese tend to have it because their stomach and their gastroesophageal junction gets shoved up into the chest. Their lower esophageal sphincter isn't tight, and the esophagus is squamous epithelium. It's a different lining from the stomach, and it doesn't tolerate acid. So when the valve that connects the stomach to the esophagus, that interconnection doesn't function, the acid suddenly starts bathing this lining of the esophagus in acid, and it can't tolerate it. It's painful. People have that terrible sour taste in their back of their throat. Antioxidants have become very, very popular because they are electron donors. And when they meet a free radical, that free radical gets what it wants. It gets its electron, and it's neutralized. Now, the oxidation reduction potential of Kangen water is gigantic. It's about 30 times greater than the famous green tea. Everyone knows about green tea being a profoundly good antioxidant. Fruits, vegetables are considered antioxidants. Kangen water at a pH of 9.5 can have a negative, which is an electron donating reduction potential of up to 600 millivolts. It's measured in millivolts. You couldn't eat enough fruits and vegetables to get anywhere near that amount into your system. I find that drinking Kangen water is satisfying because it quenches one's thirst. One is able to drink a lot more because you don't get that bloated feeling. It is as if the water is very much more quickly absorbed. And there are studies that have shown that from the Japanese literature that the water starts being absorbed in the distal esophagus before it even hits the stomach. It's absorbed in the stomach, and then by the time the duodenal sweep has been reached, it's practically already totally absorbed. The Japanese have done a tremendous amount of work on using ionized water for wound care. There's a lot published in the Japanese literature and also now in American literature about using pH 2.5 water for bactericidal purposes. Staph aureus, for example, cannot survive in 2.5 pH water. The kill ratios are dramatic for this, and so it stands to reason that this would be beneficial for contaminated wounds or even infected wounds. The Japanese, for example, treat diabetic ulcers with ionized water with a low pH and find that to be extremely successful. They also have published a lot on it, and the before and after pictures are very dramatic. The pH 2.5 water has tremendous antibacterial properties against both gram-negative and gram-positive organisms. One of the things that you learn is called primum non nocere. Above all, do no harm. That is the duty of a physician. It dates back to Hippocrates. None of us want to do harm. What we should do, and I think when we're convinced of something that is really truly good for people, we should go and recommend it to people. Look at Japan. The country of Japan has the highest consumption of ionized water in the world. Now, I'm not saying it is necessarily a direct effect, but they are also number one in overall health care in the world and number one in longevity in the world. When we compare that to the United States, we're number 38 in longevity and in overall health. The Cubans have better health than we do. I've had the great fortune in my life to have graduated from one of the finest medical schools in the world, Harvard. I was trained in the Harvard residency program. I've spent my entire professional career affiliated with that institution. One of the best things, next to being affiliated with this great institution, has been my discovery of Kangen water.
In Japan, they have a saying, Mizu wo kaereba, jinsei ga kawaru. Translated, change your water, change your life. Do yourself and your family a favor. Ask for a free sample of Kangen water. Try it and see for yourself.
You've just seen why people everywhere are discovering the life-changing power of Kangen water. Now see how people are also reaping great financial rewards with Enagic's unprecedented compensation plan.
Hey, what's up everyone? Aldrin Vicente here, and I'm so excited to share with you the Enagic business model and kind of just give you guys a breakdown of the compensation plan and an overview of the company and how everything works. So check this out, guys. Enagic is in the direct sales industry, which is massive on a global scale. It's one of the largest industries out there. If you stack it up against top grossing industries like the NFL or music or movie, you'd see that direct sales in 2016 alone did $183 billion globally. The largest chunk of that went to the health and wellness category, which is and will always be the largest category in the entire industry. So here we go. Enagic is a leader in global health, and the company is already over 40 years old. Now, it's OEM. So what does that mean? That means they make everything from their devices to their packaging, so they have 100% control over their quality of manufacturing. And they're a member of the Direct Selling Association and the Better Business Bureau. This is a true global business, guys. That's what really got me excited, because I learned that your value is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So I saw Enagic and I'm like, okay, this is a true global business with water, which is a necessity for life, and they have offices all over the world. So no matter where you meet somebody, whether it's online or offline, you can serve them and their family. I think that's pretty awesome. Enagic is going to be the next mega trend, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but a couple reasons why I love this business is because there's no sign-up fee. There's no monthly qualifications. You don't have to stock up on product or inventory. There's no auto ship or subscription, no annual renewals, no de-ranking. That's big, guys. You know, you never lose your rank in this business. And there's no licensing required like a lot of the other industries out there. There's basically no gimmicks, you know? And it's accumulative sales. There's easy financing for everyone. And of course, there's international sponsoring since it's a global business. There's 9 ways to earn income, and it pays daily. Now, when it comes to the mega trend thing, You want to position yourself in front of something that almost nobody knows about, yet the majority will own. And this is one of those things, guys. This is the next kitchen appliance. 0.1% of the people out there know about Kangen water. That means that you can talk to 1,000 people and 999 of them have no idea what Kangen water is, but I guarantee they're all gonna want it because everybody drinks water and everybody wants to know what makes them healthy, right? So these are some of the other mega trends out there. Let's talk about the smartphone. Everybody already had a cell phone when the smartphone came out, and the majority of the people didn't even want it. Listen, they're gonna get it, they just don't know it yet. You know, they already had their flip phones and they weren't interested in it. Just give it time. Same thing as these flat screen TVs. Everybody already had 5 TVs in the house. But listen, give it time and the majority of the people will own it. Now, guess what? Almost everybody has flat screen TVs. Now, Kangen water is literally going to be the largest trend that most people have seen. The reason being is, guys, we can't drink bottled water forever. In the United States alone, 29 billion bottles are thrown away every single year. Nobody's living under a rock. People know what's in their water, they just don't know what the solution is. That's why this business is so duplicatable, because we're educating people on really healthy water all over the world. Everybody's already buying it every single day. Most people are overpaying for it. The majority of them are uneducated on what's actually in their water, and most of it is doing more harm than good. So everything just checked out for me. You know, Enagic built a solid foundation in the Japanese market. It's a proven product emerging in brand new markets all over the world, so they have a track record, and there's global expansion. It's in health and wellness. Guys, everybody is looking to get healthy these days because health is wealth. And this is a true direct sales business. This is not multi-level marketing. It's not one of those pyramid things where, you know, like, hey, go get your 5 friends and then help them get their 5 friends and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. No, this is a lot like real estate. It's over and down. So say, for instance, you know, you have an agent and a broker. I would rather be the broker because an agent has to sell a house to make money. But the broker can have 50 different agents working for them, and every single time one of them sells a house, he gets a cut. That's how it works. It's actually so unique that they patented their compensation plan. It's called the 8-point commission system, right? So let's take the K8 for instance, $49.80. And my buddy told me that, and I'm like, okay, no big deal, $50. And he's like, no, dude, it's $4,980. I said, okay, well, you know, I see the value. Can I finance it? And he's like, yeah, you know, there's easy financing for everyone. So every single time a machine is sold, 8 points are paid out to the distributors. And depending on which machine it is determines how much each point is worth. So for the K8, each point is worth $340. Depending on where you are in the business model determines how many points you get. So remember, only 8 points are paid out to the distributors for every sale, okay? So sometimes you get a check for $340, sometimes they're checks for $2,040. It just depends on where you fall into the business model, and I'll go ahead and explain that. Let's say you just got started. It doesn't matter what machine you invest in because they all come with distributor IDs, which is basically a referral code. It's something you would use to share this with a friend or family member. Now, on your first direct sell, you sell to your friend Matt, and he buys a K8. You're gonna get a check for $340. And on your second direct sell, you sell to your friend Mike, and he also buys a K8. You're gonna get another check for $340. Now, that's pretty cool. That's still good money, but that's still linear income. Meaning what? Meaning you sold a machine and you got paid. So where's the leverage in this business? Well, not only did you get paid $340, but you also opened up 2 separate 1-point franchise lanes. So let's say Matt just drinks the water, but Mike likes the business also, and he goes out there and he sells 5 machines. He's gonna get a check 5 times. You are also gonna get a 1-point check 5 times because Mike is in your 1-point franchise lane. Now, on your third direct sell, you sell to your friend Ben. Now, this time you get a check for $680. So why $680 instead of $340? Because you just got promoted. Now you're earning 2 points from every sell in that franchise lane. But Ben is like, okay, this is a cool business. You know, I love the water. I think this can help a lot of people. And he goes out there and he sells 5 machines in his first month. Ben will get $340, $340, $680, $680, $680. But you, since Ben is in your 2-point franchise lane, you're gonna get $680, $680, $680, $680, $680. 5 times. That's where the leverage kicks in. Let's say you only sell those 3 machines, Matt, Mike, and Ben. But Ben goes out there and sells 7. Now that you have 10 total group sales, on your next direct sell, you sell to your friend Kim. Now you're gonna get a check for 1,020. Okay, so what do I mean by indirect sales? Meaning you don't need to sell all the machines yourself. That's why there's so much leverage in Enagic. And so after Kim buys her machine, you get 1,020. But Kim has a great network and she goes out there and sells 10 machines. You're gonna get a check for 1,020 10 times because Kim is in your 3-point franchise lane. Again, you get promoted after you have 20 total group sales. And now you bring in your friend Bailey and she buys a K8. You're gonna make 1,360 for 1 machine, guys. Here's the thing. When Bailey goes out there and sells her first 5 machines, Bailey's gonna make 340, 340, 680, 680, 680. But since Bailey is in your 4-point franchise, you're gonna make 1360, 1360, 1360, 1360, 1360, 5 times. That's what got me so excited about Enagic. And then again, you get promoted after you have 50 total group sales. Now you're making 1,700 per machine in that franchise. And oh, here's the thing, guys. There's no D ranking in this business. So once you hit these ranks, you can never go backwards, ever. It's not like those other programs out there where you had to requalify every single month. And then you hit 6A when you get 100 total group sales in your business. Now you're making 2,040. Now, I know what you're thinking. How am I gonna sell 100 of these? When my friend hit 6A, he personally only sold 8 machines. And through those 8 people, he built leaders that got passionate about this water also. And they sold the other 92 and he became a 6A. So he sold 8 machines, but he received over 100 checks. So let me explain the point system really quick, because remember, Enagic only pays out 8 points per sale. Let's say you just sold a machine to your friend Evan, but you're a great leader and you actually help Evan achieve the rank of 4A, and he sells to his friend Julian. Evan's gonna get a check for 1,360. Since you're a 6A, you're probably expecting a $2,040 check, but you only get 1,360. Why is that? Evan took 4 points out of the 8, meaning there was only 4 left over for you. So even though you were a 6-point agent, there were only 4 points left over. And then the person above you gets cut off. That's exactly why this is not multi-level marketing. It's not one of those things where the person at the top makes all the money off the people at the bottom. So what happens after you hit 6A? For the rest of your life, you open up nothing but 6-point franchise lanes every single time you have a direct sell. And if it's outside your 8 points, meaning you would typically be cut off from the commissions, they start to actually pay you an educational bonus of $200 per sale. So after you hit 6A, you get a $3,000 bonus check. But remember, that's not the top rank. To hit 6A2 and Dash 2 and all those, basically what you're doing is helping to build leaders and helping other people achieve the rank of 6A. What really caught my attention was 6A2-3, where you actually get a one-time bonus of $25,000. But that's not it. What got me even more excited was that the company would actually start paying you a $5,000 a month bonus for life, no matter what. So I saw that as an exit strategy because the company doesn't expect you to sell machines forever. You can actually will this down to your children. So no matter what you do in this business, you can pass it down to your kids. And that's going to help you create generational wealth for your family. A recent survey showed that 84% of the people out there actually have a positive outlook on entrepreneurship, and 51% of them can even imagine themselves starting a business. And 100% of them all drink water. What if you can not only invest in your family's health, but you can also invest in a true global business and have the opportunity to really share this with people all over the world and add value to their family's life also? It's really simple. All you need to do is share the Kangen water. Give it to your loved ones and see what it does for them. You know, people are already buying water anyway. This is just a better water to invest in rather than an expense that they'll have to pay forever. And then share some information, whether it's a video or a website or maybe a brochure or maybe even sharing your story of what it did for you or one of your family members. And then follow up with them and of course have fun. And remember, this business pays daily, so you never know when you're gonna get a nice surprise in the mailbox.
Power off. Power on. Kangen water 9.5.
Powering on. Kangen water 9.0.
Turn off the faucet after e-cleaning is finished. When the rinsing is completed, the unit will return to the home screen automatically. For more details, please contact your dealer or any other offices on the list. Now, we will show you various ways for using these 5 types of water that the Redlock Company produces. Kangen water makes drinking water and meals tastier. Kangen water helps to balance an overall diet. Kangen water also gives fruit, coffee, or tea a warm and mild flavor.
And in this video, I'm going to be going over our 3 most popular machines and the 3 different payment options for each machine. Now the odds are you're watching this video because you're looking to get a Kangen water machine, but you're just not sure what the difference is between the machines and what would be the best payment option for you. So no worries, I'm going to be going over everything in this video. I'm going to do it as quick as possible. So the first machine that we're going to go over is the SD501. This machine has been around for decades. It was their flagship model forever. It's a really solid machine. And then they also came out with the SD501 Platinum. It's the exact same machine on the inside. It makes the exact same water. It just looks better, and it's going to match your stainless steel appliances. So it's a very popular machine. And then they also came out with the K8. Now, the difference between these machines is the SD501 and the SD501 Platinum. They have 7 platinum-coated titanium plates on the inside, and the K8 has 8 of them. So one additional plate means the properties of the water are a little bit stronger and they last a little bit longer. So there is a difference in the water quality. It's a little bit better. Also, there is a touch screen, some additional features like some languages and settings, and it's just the best of the best. And in my opinion, it looks a little bit better, but that's just personal preference. And then for each 3 of these machines, there are 3 different payment options. Now, the first one is you can pay in full. They accept debit cards and credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. So I highly recommend paying in full. And there is also 16-month financing and bank financing. Now I'm going to touch on those 2 in just a second. So let's say you're looking to pay in full on an SD501. The total comes to $39.80 plus shipping and tax. There are some tax-free states like Oregon, Montana, New Hampshire, Delaware, but most of the states do have sales tax. In Michigan, it's just a couple $100. maybe in between $200 and $300. Now on the SD501 Platinum, it comes to $42.80 plus shipping and tax, and on the K8 it comes to $49.80 plus shipping and tax, which can be, in Michigan, I think it's a little over $300. So that is if you want to pay in full. Again, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, credit card, debit card. We'll be more than happy to process that today. Now, there's 16-month financing, and this is really cool. It's all done in-house where they don't pull your credit. There's no hard inquiry. So in order to finance it over 16 months, you do have to, you only have to put down 20%. So it's about $800 down and $225 a month for 16 months. And that $800 includes the sales tax in Michigan. Now, if you're in a tax-free state, that's as low as $563. Now, if the taxes in your state are higher than Michigan, that down payment can go up a little bit. But for the most part, they're right around $800 down and $225 a month. And the $225, it doesn't matter what state you're in. That's how much you're going to pay for the next 16 months. And your first payment isn't due for 45 days after you put down that down payment. And again, everyone is instantly approved. It's really cool. Now, if you want to get the SD501 Platinum, in Michigan, it's about $1,120 down and $225 a month. So the down payment goes up a couple $100, but the monthly payment stays the same, which is nice for the next 16 months. And then the K8 is $1,140 down, and then that's $270 a month for the next 16 months. Now, let's say you don't have the funds to pay in full, and you don't have the funds to put down 20%. There is a third option. It's called bank financing, and how it works is if you have credit scores above 650, what you can do is you can go to Comerica or Chase or Capital One, and you can apply for a line of credit. It's basically a credit card, and they will ship it to you. It'll take about 5 to 7 business days as long as you're approved, and you get that card in the mail, and then you activate it. And what you do is you basically pay in full on that brand new credit card, and you use that as a line of credit in order to finance the machine. So nothing is physically coming out of your checking account or your savings account. So it is $0 out of your checking account, and then you would make payments to that line of credit when they send you a statement in the mail every month. For right around $45 a month would be the minimum payment on that. On the SD501 Platinum, it is nothing down and $50 a month, and then for the K8, it's right around $60 a month. So these are the 3 machines, and these are the 3 different payment options. What I would recommend is getting back to whoever sent you this video and letting them know that you're looking to get started right away, and watch this video. Make sure, watch it maybe once or twice, and just make sure that you're getting the right machine. And if you can, I would recommend paying in full. That way there's no monthly payments. So again, get back to whoever sent you this video, and we'll talk to you soon.